All right, team. The board exams are staring you right in the face, and I know the pressure is on. So, think of this as your ultimate, super fast crash course for the production and employment chapter. We are going to nail everything you need to know.
Feeling that pre-exam stress? Yeah, I get it. This chapter, it can feel like a lot, but honestly, it's all built on a few really simple core ideas, and you can bet they are going to show up on your paper.
So don't you worry, we have boiled it all down to the absolute must-knows. This is literally everything you need to score full marks on questions from this chapter. Okay, you ready? Let's dive right in.
First things first, we have to start with the foundation. I mean, the absolute bedrock of this entire chapter. If you get this, everything else just clicks into place. We're talking about the three economic sectors.
Okay, so the primary sector. The keyword I want you to burn into your brain is natural resources. That's it. It's any activity where we're directly using what nature gives us. Farming, fishing, mining, it all comes straight from the earth. So here's a simple memory trick for you. Just think primary equals the nature sector.
Next up, we've got the secondary sector. This is where we take all that raw stuff from the primary sector and we change it. We transform it. The magic word here is manufacturing. Think about turning cotton into cloth or iron ore into steel for cars. So if primary is the nature sector, then secondary is the making things sector. Easy, right?
And finally, rounding out the team is the tertiary sector. Now this one's a little different. It doesn't produce a physical thing. Instead, it provides services that help the other two sectors run smoothly. We're talking about stuff like transportation, banking, teachers, doctors. You get the idea. It's the service sector. It's kind of like the glue that holds the entire economy together. And look at this. This one picture perfectly sums up the whole idea. See panel 1? Farming. That's your primary sector, straight from nature. Panel 2? The factory. That's secondary, making things. And panel 3? The office. That's tertiary, providing a service. Lock this image in your head. It's the whole concept in one glance.
Okay, so we've got our three sectors. But how do we measure the total value of everything they're producing? How do we keep score for the entire country's economy? Well, that brings us to something you've definitely heard of, GDP.
Now listen up, because this definition is a classic one-mark question. GDP is the value of all final goods and services produced in a country in 1 year. I'm going to say it again because it's so important. Final. That one little word is the key, and you know what? It's the most common trap students fall into. Let me show you why.
Let's take the journey of a dosa to make this crystal clear. Okay, so first, a farmer sells paddy. That's an intermediate good. Then, the miller turns that paddy into rice, still an intermediate good. Finally, the hotelier uses that rice to cook and sell you a delicious finished dosa. That dosa, that is the final good.
And that brings us to exam rule number 1. Write this down. To avoid something called the double counting trap, we only, and I mean only, count the value of the final good. Why? Because the value of the paddy and the rice is already included in the final price of the dosa. So GDP just counts the end product. Simple as that.
All right, now this is where things get really interesting. Let's look at how the importance of these sectors has changed in India over the past few decades. Because the data, it tells this incredible story of a really big shift.
So let's look at the story the data is telling us. These two pie charts show the share of each sector in our GDP. Look at the left one, back in 1973. See that huge green slice? That's agriculture, the primary sector, making up a massive 43% of our economy. Now shift your eyes over to the right, to 2015. Whoa, see how that green slice is shrunk to just 12%? And in its place, that yellow slice, the tertiary or service sector, has just exploded. It's become the main engine of India's economy.
But, and this is probably the most important part of the whole chapter, here's the twist. We saw where the money shifted, but what about the people? Where are they actually working? Look at this. Back in the 70s, a staggering 74% of Indians worked in farming. Now, you'd think that would have dropped like a rock, right? But by 2017, it was still 44%. This is the critical mismatch. The value of what we produce shifted big time to services, but the jobs, they didn't follow at nearly the same speed.
So what do you think happens when a huge chunk of your population is still stuck working in a sector that's not producing as much value anymore? Well, you get a hidden problem, and it's a very, very important exam concept called underemployment.
This is also known as disguised unemployment. It's a tricky situation where it looks like everyone's working, but there are actually more people doing a job than are really needed. They aren't working to their full potential. In fact, if you took some of those people away, the total amount of work getting done wouldn't even change.
And your textbook gives a perfect example with Gayatri, a small farmer. Her whole family, all 5 of them, work on their small plot of land. But the truth is, that piece of land only needs 3 people to farm it properly. So the other 2 family members, they're technically unemployed, but it's disguised. They could leave, get another job, and the farm would produce the exact same amount of crops. Use this example in your exam answers.
Okay, we are on to our final big topic for this chapter. And I'm telling you, this is a classic comparison question that you should be 100% prepared for. It's the Great Divide, the organized versus the unorganized sectors. Now, to make this difference totally clear, let's meet 2 people. First, there's Narasimha. He's got a steady job in a government office, fixed hours, benefits. He is our example for the organized sector. And then we have Rajeshwari. She's a construction worker. Her work is daily, it's unpredictable. She represents the unorganized sector. And their day-to-day lives couldn't be more different. This slide right here breaks down all those critical differences. In the organized sector, like Narasimha's job, you've got regular employment. You've got job security. You get benefits like paid leave and a medical fund. It's all formal and protected. Now, in the unorganized sector, like Rajeshwari's, it is the complete opposite. Work is irregular, there is 0 job security, and absolutely no benefits. Seriously, these points of comparison are a potential 5-mark question, so make sure you've got this down.
And this table, well, it shows the shocking reality of this divide in India. Just take a second and look at these numbers. The secure, organized sector employs only 8% of the people working in India. Just 8%. But it generates half, 50% of our GDP. Meanwhile, the insecure, unorganized sector employs a staggering 92% of working Indians, and they contribute the other 50%. This massive imbalance is one of the biggest challenges our country faces.
Okay, take a deep breath. We have covered every single major concept. This is it, the final sprint. I am about to list the top 10 points that you absolutely must have in your head as you walk into that exam hall. This is your final checklist. Let's do it.
Let's go. Number 1, primary is nature. Secondary is manufacturing. Tertiary is services. Got it? 2, GDP counts final goods only. Why? To avoid double counting. 3, India's GDP has shifted big time, from agriculture to services. 4, but employment has not shifted nearly as fast. 5, and this leads to disguised unemployment in agriculture. 6, what is disguised unemployment? Simply, more people working than are actually needed. 7, the organized sector means regular jobs, security, and benefits. 8, the unorganized sector means irregular jobs, no security, and no benefits. 9, a mind-boggling 92% of Indians work in the unorganized sector. And 10, the big challenge this all points to. How does India create more and better jobs in the organized sector? That's it. You have everything you need. Go over these points one more time and walk in there with confidence. You've got this. Best of luck on your exam.